1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It never stops. In every country, every religion, every culture, the death toll rises without pause. It is perhaps the most feared and least understood word on the planet, suicide. Some countries call it illegal. Many religions call it a sin. Most people still call it illogical. Yet since the beginning of recorded time, humans have used suicide to end their suffering every 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Ironically, for something so entrenched in every society, it remains one of life's greatest mysteries. People wonder why. The answer, in the majority of cases, is mental illness, and specifically depression. On today's show, we will try and allow you to understand better the link between depression and suicide. Depression, to most of us, is as much an entity as it is an illness. For most of us, it has a voice. The voice is always negative, always trying to keep us down. I have heard that voice many times. So to better help you understand, we welcome the voice of my depression and how it would torture me on a bad day. God, I feel awful, but when I wake up, who knows? Maybe I'm going to feel better tomorrow. No, you're not going to. As a matter of fact, you're going to feel even worse. But I actually have felt better before. Not this time. This time, I'm never going away. But I can make it through this. I'm just going to focus on my job. Here's the problem. You're terrible at that. But you see, I can fool people. I can bluff my way through it while I'm sick. No, you can't. Because I have taken your confidence. When you look into the camera, you're going to believe that you're not worthy of this show. Try it. Yeah, you know what? I know I'm going to suck. You're right. Now that is better. And you know your depression is ruining everybody else's day, right? Like your family. You're no fun. You're dragging them down. But they know I'm sick. So, sure, they know you're sick. They pity you. But you're ruining all of their lives. You know what? You're right. That's the spirit. Now, come on. Cheer up. I'll do my impersonations for you. Come on. Guess who this is? I don't want to, because you only do the negative stuff. Guess. It's fun. Here goes. Guess I'm not fun enough to be invited. Eeyore, Winnie the Pooh. Big shock. Where's your Messiah now? Dude from 10 Commandments. Got to admit, love that movie. Yeah, actually, I worked with Pharaoh. Next. I feel depressed. Charlie Brown, and I know how he feels. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Yeah, I get it. Big shock. Chicken Little. Maybe I'll just kill myself. Go ahead. Make my day. Oh, yeah, he's annoying, and I can't not listen to that voice. On today's show, you will hear what that voice said to Andrew Jensen that lured him to the top of a building and how he was able to step back from the edge. And next, John Wood. Depression's voice silenced him, but his family won't be silenced. They have chosen to share his story. They have chosen to talk. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
There is a saying my late father-in-law used all the time. Talk is cheap, it costs money to buy whiskey. That does not apply to mental illness. Talk saves lives. If you're struggling and you don't ever share with anyone, how will you ever get better? Here's what sharing sounds like. I have a mental illness. I struggle daily. I am on medication, but I am not weak. Depression took my friend Wade Belak. He was not weak. And depression took John Wood. He was certainly not weak. I never met John, but I knew John because we shared a common enemy.
If you ask the question, who was John Wood?
Before the summer of 1976, most people wouldn't have had a clue. But that all changed in Montreal, and this was the sound of John's life changing. Silver medal, C1 500 in the Montreal Olympics. A star was born, but so too was a generation of paddlers.
I can clearly remember watching John's race at the Olympics in 1976 and turning to my parents and saying, after he crossed the finish line, that's what I want to do.
When any of us look at our reflection, we see something different than the world sees. John never quite saw that he was, for 2 generations now, the inspiration to pick up a paddle.
John was the ignition for an era of success in canoe kayak in Canada.
We all know people like John Wood, the kind that simply make everything they touch better. He touched a paddle and made it silver, touched his family and made it gold, touched any business and put it in the black.
John was unusual as a CEO of a financial company because he was natural and open. He didn't have an ego. He didn't try to be something he wasn't and always be that strong person.
John Wood, serious paddler, serious in business, not always serious.
He had a very light side. He was always, having fun with the employees. If we had a Christmas party, John was up there dancing with everybody.
Here's a guy that would really laugh, like deep belly laughs about the sometimes the silliest things, and often laughing at himself as well.
John was like many of us with depression. He could wear a mask that says everything is fine, even when it's not. On January the 23rd, 2013,
1, 2, 3.
in the blink of an eye,
1, 2, 3.
everything changed. And for the second time, John Wood had stunned a nation.
I was 100% surprised at how John died.
Just totally flabbergasted at the thought that John would have taken his own life.
For those who see depression as a weakness, ask yourself, how do you rationalize the life of John Wood? John lifted depression's weight daily. John's passion for life couldn't be extinguished. He became the father who didn't just give life, but he shared life with his kids. And while he's been gone for a year, John still finds ways to touch us daily.
For me, this is a symbol of John's strength and determination and what he was able to do on the water, and obviously what he was able to do off the water.
John Wood was my hero. He's still a hero to me. And this medal that he won, which was a result of all of his dreams, was the beginning of my dreams.
It's not the race, and it's not the work, and it's not the accomplishment. It's just the symbol of it.
So the medal meant something very special to those people. But I'm wondering, 2 of John's 4 kids, Jennifer and Alan Wood, what did the medal mean to you, Jen?
It was never on display or anything. He was incredibly humble about it. It was sort of like a toy than anything that was a prized possession, I'd say.
Yeah, pretty much, we'd maybe parade around the house once or twice a year, but...
Parade around the house with it on.
A little bit, but pretty much he never really pushed us into, going into canoeing. He didn't play that up. He very much wanted us to find our own way and sort of do whatever we like to do.
It's wonderful to see the 2 of you smiling. Obviously, this has been a year from hell, and it's just over a year. How are you doing?
I think I'm doing pretty good. It's the only times it's really hard for me is when it's really noticeable that he's gone.
And when would that be in general?
Well, one time recently was just setting the table for Christmas Eve dinner when there was only 5 spots and not 6.
Yeah. How about you? What's it? It's a foolish question to say what's it been like, because it's been hell, I know. When do you feel it?
I feel it all the time. It can come on at any time. You start missing him. But it has been amazing, just sort of the people that have come out, the network, the amount of love that people have shown, that have brought our way, and really feel like we have a really strong family and great friends. So.
And you wanted to be here today for what reason?
Well, it was such a shock to us. I mean, if anything could be, if we could turn back time, it would just be that he felt okay to reach out to someone. It didn't have to be like me or Alan or anyone in the family, but just someone that maybe he could have shared what he was going through with, like on a deeper level, that he could have, you know, changed his mind.
Of course. You hold on to your thought. We're going to take a break. And it's Bell Let's Talk Day, and you're talking about something that's incredibly beyond painful to you. And you're doing it because maybe it'll make a difference in someone else's life, and we'll do that when we return.
Sick, not weak.
Sick, not weak.
Sick, not weak.
Sick, not weak.
Was John weak?
Okay, no, not at all. Anything but.
Yeah, I don't think anyone that ever knew him would ever use that word to describe him.
That's the perception of a lot of the population in Canada still believes that people who suffer from depression and people who take their own lives are weak. Not true for your dad.
No, definitely not.
How much did your dad share with you? I know that you mentioned that you wish that he had shared more. Did you know anything about his struggles?
I mean, we knew he was going through a very stressful time, and you know, he's human. He had problems that he was dealing with, but it came as a complete surprise that it was as bad as it was. He really did keep that a secret.
You were saying that your dad had been on medication off and on for a long time.
Yeah, like I was aware of that. I didn't really know the details, but yeah, the on and off medication, and I don't know if I can say this on TV, but there was self-medication too. He did drink and smoke pot. Is that okay to say?
Yeah, it's okay to say because it's important to say, because
Okay.
self-medication is so incredibly common for people who are struggling, because
Right.
when you're in pain, you search for ways to relieve the pain. So yeah, it's okay to say
Okay.
that. You know, and also he was a,
Like criminalize ourselves. Like,
but also he was kind of, he had long hair in the 60s, so maybe he was a bit of a hippie too.
yeah,
a little bit.
yeah, he definitely told us some wild stories.
So
But it was definitely like self-medication too, because he would take himself on and off the meds that the doctor would prescribe to him. You know, like
Yeah.
he wasn't, it would be kind of, I think he saw taking them almost as weak.
this was a total surprise for you guys, right? This was, I mean, besides the horrendous pain of this beyond awful news, it was just the biggest possible shock. Am I right?
Yeah, like felt like a really bad nightmare for a while. Just,
For sure.
yeah, like I talked to him 2 days before it happened. I would have never, you know, like I remember exactly what I was doing the night before it happened. Like, you know, it just, I didn't even think about like if he was doing bad or something.
Why do you think your mom chose to make his suicide public?
Well, I think we all did. We were all shocked when we saw the first article that was posted online. It said he died of a heart attack. And we instantly, like our first reaction was to correct that. That's the way we thought John would have wanted it.
Yeah, there's no.
He was never shy about calling out people, whether it be in sports for doping or whatever it was. So I think he really would have wanted his story to be told, and especially if we feel it can help, you know, other people.
So let's end this with the good memories. You were kind enough to send us 1,000 pictures, I think, every picture that was ever taken. Which one stands out for you, though?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Well, I really like the one of him holding his medal because he's smiling really big. It's before I was born. It was my aunt's photo. He's just like looks so happy, and that's just the person that I remember.
We went on some epic adventures, whether it be heli skiing or we retraced our ancestors in the Outer Hebrides of Scotland, and that was about a 10-day road trip with him, just sort of golfing every day and exploring.
It's amazing to see your faces light up when you go back to what made him special, which is a wonderful thing, but I know how hard this was for you to do, and I thank you for doing that, and I thank you for giving people an idea of what someone they love might be feeling. Thank you, Kay.
Thank you.
John Wood was one of around 4,000 Canadians who took their own lives last year. At least 10 times that number attempted suicide. And it's those people who we need to speak with, because they are living witnesses as to the lure of dying. Andrew Jensen is one of those people. He is a professional golfer, a son and a brother, as well as a survivor.
Andrew Jensen has attempted suicide 3 times. Once he found himself on the top of a building and was coaxed step by step to get closer and closer by the lies depression told him.
Depression convinces me that things won't change, they'll never get better, that there's no way out. Depression convinced me that no one would love me if they knew who I really was. For years I heard I was a failure, and I finally started to believe it. This voice told me I was Andrew the golfer, and I was defined by my golf scores, that I was only as good as my missed cuts. Depression told me that if I killed myself, people would stop worrying about me. My mom, my dad, my girlfriend, my friends, everybody. Depression convinced me that if I killed myself, my pain would finally be over.
So Andrew Jensen, what brought you back from the edge?
I think just an all-hands-on-deck rush of support from my family and friends, yeah.
If you did not share, would you be alive today?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because it was, I guess, looking back, that sharing, that saying goodbye, that concerned everyone and made everybody rush to do something to find me, to get me safe.
How did you explain when you were saying goodbye to people? How did you explain why you were going to take your own life?
I didn't explain it. The people that I said goodbye to knew I was suffering, knew I was hurting, and I basically just said, you don't have to worry about me anymore. I'm gonna be okay. Yeah.
And in your mind at that time, are you, because these are people that you love,
yeah.
and you, thinking rationally today, you know you're going to devastate them. Where does that figure in the equation? Because a lot of people who are survivors of a suicide from someone that they love left behind wonder, what was he thinking?
Yeah. I mean, all I was thinking was just how much I was hurting, how much pain I was in, and there just needed to be a way to end it, a way to make it stop.
You found your way back, as you say, by all hands on deck.
Yeah.
By going for treatment, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you found yourself back in a similar spot.
Yeah, a couple times.
Why?
It's just, it doesn't go away. The triggers, the pain, the hurting, it doesn't leave. It's just, I learn how to manage it, or like the lies or the voices, not voices, but like the things I'm convinced of, they were very loud in 2011, but they're just a little bit quieter now. And I can be stronger to say, shut up. It's not true.
What was it like thinking about your parents and your mom specifically,
yeah.
what this would do to her?
It would kill her. It would have killed her. I can't even imagine.
But yet, and this is why
depression and suicide are so difficult to understand.
Yeah.
Because, even acknowledging that, knowing, and I see the pain on your face from what that would do to her, you still 3 times in your life were, in that position.
Yeah. But it's that, obviously it's very emotional for me, but it's that, it's almost like that's why I won't do it again. I won't try. I've come close to trying, but I won't do it for her.
And you're proof that you could make it back.
I guess so, yeah.
Well, stay back, and thank you for giving people a better idea of what hell feels like.
My pleasure.
It's Bell Let's Talk Day, so let's talk. Just me and you. Yeah. One person. You know who you are. I know who you are because I am you. For one moment, shut out the voice in your head and listen to only my voice. Depression is lying. It lied to John Wood, it lied to Andrew Jensen, and it lied to me. It's telling you you can't get better, but you can. It says you're not worthy, but you are. It wants you to think that you won't be missed, but you will be. And the biggest lie of all, the big lie, the one so outlandish, so against everything you knew to be true, that you believe it. The big lie? It's telling you that you are better off dead than alive. If you believe that, you need to know that is depression's voice. And you need to know the way to silence that voice is through treatment. I did. And when I stop and listen, the voice is silent.